Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today I think we're going to make some earrings. Now I haven't designed anything out, but I've got all kinds of beautiful Jessie James beads sitting down here on my desk, and I thought we could look at them and decide what we want to make. So let's turn down and let's look at what we got. As you can see, I have a number of, got Blackberry Baby, which we've used part of on a, I believe it was some hair sticks. And then we have Orange Bell Pepper, which we have also used part of. I've got this wonderful heart chain in gunmetal. See if we can figure out something to do with that. And then I have Smoke and Mirrors, which I haven't even opened up yet. But there's some really pretty pieces in there. So let's pull some of these out and let's see if we can come up with some ideas on what we'd like to do. I'm going to open this package up. And I will pull these pieces out because when I go to save these extra beads, I will put them on a dish with in a little dish with this little card with it, so that I know exactly what we've got here. So this mix is Smoke and Mirrors, and we are going to open it up. We'll dump it out and see if maybe if anything just jumps out at us that we want to use right away. So since I think I want to make earrings, we don't want these big things. They would be just too heavy for your ears, I think. And so this is a very pretty set here, but maybe we want to mix it with some of the orange. So let's see if we want to do that. So here's our Orange Bell Pepper over here. And here is our Smoke and Mirrors over here. And I was sort of thinking I might want to make some little double loop hoop earrings. So if we decide to do that, let's see what we've got here that we could put into that. I don't want anything really big for those, so, and these are briolette, so, well, actually I could put them across the bottom if they go through the wire. Yeah, that's a thought. So, for a double wire set, we don't want these drops. They're very pretty, and I probably will use them in something else. So I guess now what we want to do is see if we can figure out how we want to do a double loop. Now we can do the double loop with no beads on one or beads on both sets. And I'm thinking beads on both sets, but not a full big deep row of beads, just like maybe 5 or 6 on each, just so we don't make them too heavy. But whatever we do, we have to remember that we need to do to both earrings. So I'm thinking for one row we'll have orange, the other one will be gray, or maybe we'll even mix them up, we'll see. But I'm thinking this in the middle of one of our loops. Then we could those were pretty, but I think I don't want them that big of a bunch of things right here. So yeah, maybe like that. And with, say, another little do we want one like this or one like this? Now we also got to remember we're going to have to check to make sure that these beads will go through our onto our wire, because, well, sometimes the wire is just not big enough or is too big for our beads. So I think I like that for one loop. So put the others back over here. Close this baby up so we don't knock beads everywhere. And then for the lower loop, I'm thinking, since we only have one of these, it's a pity we don't have a nice little gray bead that could go above that to add a little more. Actually, I do have, I think. They're sort of purpley, aren't they? Let's see. Like I say, though, we don't want to make it too heavy, or we won't be able to wear them. So there. I think those will work. This is from an older Jesse James bead mix called Frosted Window. So we'll get a couple of these little tiny ones out like this. I'm going to want a few spacers because I like spacers, and we've got gold up there. But do we want gold, or do we want to just use some of these bead caps we have here? It's a pretty bronze. I think I'm going to find some gold spacers so that it will match our upper one here, and then we'll get some gold wire out to form the loops for these. So I'll be right back as soon as I get those things. Got some simple gold spacers out here. We'll just dump a few out here. And just drop them between all of our beads here. And the next thing we want to check is if the all of our beads will fit onto our wire. So I have gotten both some 20 and some 18 out to see which will work better, because like I say, we got to make sure that our beads are going to fit on here. Now if our spacers don't work, we'll just I got my reamer close by and we can just do that. So I suspect my 18 is going to be too large, but we will give it a try here and see. This is a new roll and I haven't opened it yet, and I will cut this last bit off because it tends to be very hard to get out of the loop thing. And then we'll cut this first loop off as well, which gives us a little bit more leeway to play with it here. Now I'm going to just pull this out a little bit, and then we're going to check to see if our beads will, all of our beads will go on this. Okay, this has a little bit of a kink here at the back, so I'm going to cut that off. Some of the smaller diameter beads do not like to go through a kink, so looks like all of the oranges will go on all right. Uh-oh, this little guy won't. So either we're going to have to not use him, or we'll have to go to a smaller diameter wire. I prefer not to go to a smaller diameter wire if I can help it. So 20 gauge is good. 18 is just nice and heavy so that it doesn't create any problems when you are, you know, for bending and stuff. Oh, well, our spacers don't want to go on the 18 either. Well, they will, but they're not real happy about it. So, do we want to switch to the 20? Let's see if the little gray ones will fit on the 20. If so, we'll switch to the 20. Yeah, they will. So we will use the 20, and what we're going to need is two little loops for each, one smaller and one larger for the earring loops here. So I think the littler one, we can probably get away with like 4 inches maybe. Maybe not even that much, but we'll cut 2 pieces of 4 and we'll get that going. Now, when you make a flush cut, it makes a little triangular piece on the other side, and it's sometimes pretty sharp, so I'd like to try and get that cut off. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our wire mandrel and we're going to go up to one of these slightly upper ones. We'll wrap it around like so. I always forget to make sure which one of these little loops I'm on, so we're going to go back and do that. It looks like it's the second one. Now the next thing we're going to do after we get this done is we're going to take our bell making pliers and we're going to make a loop on one side. Just like so. We are using 20. I think I am going to hammer these a bit to give them a little more stability. So, a little bit of noise. And then the next thing we're going to do is feed our orange beads onto this smaller one. So just how we had them set out here. Now this one's going to try and give you problems because it doesn't want to go around that loop. So just pull it open a little bit until it goes. Oops, we forgot our crystal spacer here. Okay, there's what this is going to look like. Now we're going to take, because we're done with the putting the beads on here, we're going to take this and wind this side up. Just like we did the other side. And then because we are all wound up, we want to even this out some. But because this little orange straight one, curly teardroppy one doesn't want to go round, we've got to get it to about the point where it's about right, and then we'll bend it back up again. Because we've already bent this into a circle and work hardened it, it's gonna try and go back to there, so that's no problem. Now this is the 4-inch piece, as you can see. Isn't that pretty? Now the next one we want is probably going to be 6 inches. So let's get 2 6-inch pieces cut. First we're going to want to cut this little notch, this sharp little triangular notch off this side here. And then 6 inches of wire. That kink out of that one spot there. Okay. Now we can put our wire aside. And we're going to want to do exactly the same thing with this piece that we did with the other piece, which is bow it around our wire mandrel. This time I'm going to use the handle. I like this bigger size, and we want it to be bigger because of the and even so, it may not want to fit the way I want it to. So let's see how we're looking here. Now see, that one's a little bit bigger down in there, so we may have to oval this one out some just by squishing it like this. Till she goes into slight oval shape. Now when this joins up with it, it's hopefully going to go around the outside like so. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is after we get these bowed up the way we want them, is we're going to turn the loop and then work harden it. So we'll take our step bell making pliers again and do this little loop on the one side. And then we'll get our block back out and give it a few little whacks to work harden it. One other thing about doing this is that it gives the wire a little bit of memory to the way you have it bent. So now we've got that done. What we want to do now is put on our gray pattern. So we'll start with this little guy. And every one of these has got one of these gold spacers between. Now the next thing we want to do is compare it to this one and see how long this is going to be. Is it going to be longer than you want it to be? How about, is their beads going to be banging into each other too much? So we want to compare our wire spots. And this is what it's going to end up looking like, pretty much. And I actually think I have more wire than I want. I think I'm going to turn the loop on the other side and then cut the loops off. That way you know you're cutting off the same amount. Because as you can see, this is getting to be, this is longer than I actually want it to be. I want them to be approximately like here. Now, the lower earring, or the upper earring I should say, has got a different curve to it. So, see, now this is too big. We just want it to be a little bit smaller, not real much smaller. So we're going to cut like, get in the middle and like cut half of the loop off. And then we'll return it. Pull it in. Now let's compare. Now see, I like that one much better. It's just right there, close enough, but not so close that it's going to become a hassle. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to get some jump rings out and put this thing together. And it's really simple. You just put a jump ring on either side, out through both of them, and then you put a middle jump ring through your outer jump rings, and then through your ear wire. Isn't that going to be pretty? What we do here is we take the smaller of the jump rings here, and we're going to go through both of either side here. And then when we're done with that, we will take this larger jump ring, go through both of these and our ear wire to form our earrings. So it's pretty simple. Just grab one of these and then the other, close them up, okay, then the other, that one up. It looks like it's not quite close, so let's ease her up there. Oh, yeah, I felt the scrape. So now the next thing is, of course, putting on the jump ring that will hold these two jump rings and then hold it to our ear wire. So let's get hold of our jump rings. Now you have to get careful when you put your jump rings on the bigger one, because if you get them not quite the same going the same direction, you'll discover that it will decide it wants to go everywhere but where you want it to be. So there is one of our earrings finished. Now we just have to do the other one. So we want to, of course, do our orange first, and we're going to make it, gets made exactly the same as our other one. So we'll put our orange beads on, and remember, this teardrop is not going to want to go all the way around, so we're going to just straighten our wire out and let it fly down there. Then we're going to turn this side and form it into back into the shape we need it to be. So back up and around. We want okay. Now I let this side get a little higher, so we're going to have to readjust that so that this one is back about the same length. Bring her back together again. Now we're going to want to compare and see how she compares to the other one. See, this one is more triangular looking than this one is. This one is more rounded, so we're going to have to squish it till we get that more rounded shape. For some reason, these teardrops are giving us more trouble with this side than with the other side did. It's actually more even than I thought it was. It looks much more triangular here, but than this one does, but it's giving me about the same size. Well, that may have been what I needed to do just there, just round the top a little bit. Let's see. So comparing helps you know whether your earring is going to be identical or as close to identical as a homemade earring can be. So as you can see, this side is still, I think, a little different than this one, so we're going to even it out again. Let's see what we got here now. Oh, I think we may have it just about where we want it now, looks like. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So we will put this one aside. And we will get our other one out. And if you'll recall, with this one, we needed to put all our beads on and then cut half the loop off. So let's now compare our earring to each other, make sure we have everything strung up right, which we do. And then we're going to turn this one and cut off half our loop and then turn them again. So that we can get about the same length of wire on both. So now we've got to compare it to this one. And as you can see, we've got this one much more rounded than this one is. So we need to round it out. Just do that by just taking your fingers and pushing it in. Like so. Let's compare. It's looking pretty good. Compare it here. And again, looking pretty good, so let's get it put together. So we open our jump ring, put both of these onto here. Close our jump ring up. And then we will get the second one out. Now remember, if you put the orange one in the front when you put these together, put the orange one in the front of both sides, or you'll get a big wowie twist. Now we've got those put together. We'll get this big one, open it, get it in this first one, and then go over and get it in this second. Now I'm going to hold it up as soon as I do this to make sure I haven't twisted anything up. And it's looking good. Oh, nope, it's not. See here? Something's wrong right here. See how that one went and is behind the bar here instead of before it? And I think that has to do with our little jump ring, because it's, see, one's in it, even though it looks like it's in front, it's not in front of, actually in front of the second one. It is slipped behind there. So we'll have to open this back up, move this so it's perfectly in front, close it back up, and we'll get our big one back out and put it back together. So through there. Now we want to make sure we're getting this one the right direction. There we go, just like so. And now you see it's hanging fine. Put our ear wire on and close our big one up. And there we go, our second earring is finished. So there's what we look like. Aren't those pretty? Now it looks like this one may be up a little higher as far as the either the orange bar is not as close, or this one is wrapped too tight, or, you know, made too big of a circle. So just take a couple of little, give it a little squeeze, and even though that's better, it's not good because it's not quite where I want it. Let's see what we got now. There we go. So there's our pair of earrings. Aren't those pretty? Okay, there's our really pretty pair of orange and gray earrings. The orange is from Orange Bell Pepper. The gray is from Smoke and Mirrors from Jesse James Beads. I think those turned out really pretty, don't you? I hope you enjoyed making these with me, and we'll see you the next time. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. Bye-bye.